G'day and welcome to Making Music. Over the next 45 minutes, we will give you a run through of how to write a song, how to produce a song, and even if you're not a musician, this will give you some insights. You'll also hear some music that we have produced, and we'll show you how simple it all really is. Enjoy. 100 years in the making, that. Paul Longley and Richard Monk sitting here doing the very, very first Making Music podcast, and we'll explain what that's all about in just a moment. First up, if you wouldn't mind, just tell me more about you, Paul.
I'm Paul, and I've been making music, I guess, since I was 7 years old. I think.
What was your first instrument, just out of interest, though?
Well, I started playing violin when I was 9, but I remember being a 7-year-old going up and playing for the grade 5 kids at school because the classroom teacher could see that I could play music by ear and got me to play for the kids. And I was 7. I started, I guess, making my own songs when I started learning violin, and I started writing little cute kid songs. And
like Mozart?
No, gosh, definitely not.
Didn't he write at 3 or something?
Yeah, definitely. No, he was a prodigy. But look, when I was, I guess when I was older, like as a teenager, I started doing, the more conventional songwriting. I've called myself a singer-songwriter, but more in the last kind of 15 years or so, I've really focused on just being very spontaneous with making music. So whenever I do a gig or even do my original music, I'll involve people and really get them part of the experience where I make things up on the fly and get them involved with it. Content.
And we're going to talk about this later because you make instruments for people to play too, but we're going to leave that for just the moment because that's a whole new piece on its own, and it's really intriguing to talk about that. But and you've lived all over the place, and I mean literally all over the place.
Oh, a few different countries. I lived in Asia, lived in Thailand. I was learning some folk instruments over there for almost 2 years while I was teaching English, and that was about 15 years ago, and learnt, some of the instruments there, and been to Spain and lived there. Yeah, done a few different things.
And you got a background in psych as well as about 4 other things, but that's a driver.
Well, that's what I'm really, passionate about is how can we connect with each other and with mediums like music and creativity and how it can, improve our well-being. I'm passionate about all that.
Okay, and you're a recorder as well, and we'll plug your album a little later on too, because that's important and it's a great listen. But that's a whole, again, another podcast.
Definitely.
So we'll be in a minute. We're going to run through where to start. If you're not a musician and you want to become one, or if you're not a musician, you think, wouldn't mind giving it a try. Let's see what it is. You were talking about something a minute ago, being you can play by ear, which I want to go into a bit of detail on that because a lot of people are not sure what that really means. Yeah. So if we can just get on that a moment. Just for my background, I've worked in studios, radio, and in science and a few other things too, but music's been all the way through. I did go through a phase, and for musicians, it's not a great phase, but writing jingles for radio and television, those advertising jingles, and you know them, they're not great, but they're good fun.
Yeah, and it's still creating music. Yeah. I get it can be very debatable, but and I think that, that's something that can really come into our conversation here is that I think a lot of people don't create music because of the social demands and pressures and expectations that it's got to be a certain way. And even to the point where, say, in commercialism, you squash the guts out of it to the point where you can't be free to be yourself. And I guess that's a big aspect of what I like to
Actually, you've just given me an idea that and a way, a sort of an analogy. Jingles, radio jingles and television jingles for commercials are Twitter to novels. So without all the nasty stuff. But it's so compressed and you've got to compress it to 30 seconds or 60 seconds and a full story, a full brand, all the information, and it's got to be done in that time. So it's basically the Twitter for
Yeah.
for novels.
Yeah.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, that's great. No, it's definitely a really good way of looking at it. And coming back to, I guess, our idea or reasoning for even doing this, for talking together about this Making Music podcast series potentially, is that people can, that we all have, call me a hippie, call me airy-fairy, whatever, esoteric, whatever you want to call me. But look, everyone, I reckon, if you've got a beating heart, you have the capacity to create some type of music, and something that you can at least bring pleasure to yourself, if not to the ears of others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're listening to Making Music. Here's a song from Paul's album Mind's Eye. It's called Out From the Shadow.
Every time I see it in my mind, it all comes clear. You begin to make sense to me. My misery seems to disappear, and all the questions happen deep inside melt away. And I know that is where I want to be. Every day I see another way to help me see that there's nothing to compare with you. All you do, it's a mystery. And words are something that I cannot find to say it all. But I'm free just to know that you are here. Well, I'm standing and I'm smiling, 'cause now I see a different side of life. And every old way I knew decay, and every lie I heard dissolves away when all I see seems right. And now we're here, out from the shadow. Oh yeah, out from the shadow. What you can see in their hurting eyes. All the things that we say be true, I know we do, can be their surprise. And in left in this deep sweet pain, we'll realize that together we can really live again. When I'm standing and I'm smiling, 'cause now I see a different side of life. And every old way I knew decay, and every lie I heard dissolves away when all we see seems right. And now we're here, out from the shadow. Now we're here. Oh, hey, and I'm standing and I'm smiling, 'cause now I see a different side of life. And every old way when you decay, and every lie I heard dissolves away. From the shadow. Ooh, yeah. Out from the shadow. Ooh, out from the shadow. Out from the shadow. Out from the shadow.
Well, that's Out From the Shadow from a Mind's Eye album. We're talking about making a start to making music.
Can we do a quick role play here?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the guy who walks in, who says, "G'day, Paul. How are you?" I've never played music. I've never sung. I probably did it in the shower, maybe, and I did a bit at school, a bit of singing or something. I want to do music. I'm in this part of my life. I want my kids to be able to sing. I want to enthuse them to be able to get into that. But for me, I want to understand what it is. Where do you start?
Yeah, I guess if they're just saying, hey, I want to sing songs, well, I'd be just saying, just do it in an environment where you feel safe, songs that you know. But if it's about, hey, I want to know how to make my own music and not feel all weird or self-conscious about it, I think the trick is, or the simplicity of it is just to start it, but to do it at a real simple level. And the way I do that, when people ask me, how do I write a song? How do I make up something on the spot? All you got to do is put one monotonal note to it and you can sound like that and it can be very boring, but then you can put two notes to it and just sing whatever you say.
All right, I'm going to be devil's advocate here because I heard something recently that blew me away. It was about tuning of a guitar, and somebody said, "Hey, that guitar's out of tune." A musician. The other people in the room are not musicians. They said, "How?" That's the dog. What's the dog's name again? It's
Scampy.
G'day, Scampy. He'll bark in a minute. Wait for it.
He's musical
in
his own right. He's got all these wonderful tones that comes out atonally.
So that's Scampy now. You bought him a brand new chair, so he's having a sleep outside. So we're fine.
Yes.
Now let's go back to where we were. I need to talk about this because a lot of people don't understand it. That the guitar was out of tune. The muso knew it was out of tune, but everyone in the room said, "What do you mean it's out of tune? Don't you just play it for every song and whatever comes out is that?" So somebody walking in who wants to start music doesn't understand what tuning is, doesn't understand what notes are. There's something happening in their head that they know they can sing it. They know they know what songs, they love listening to music. How do you impart that?
Well, it's really interesting, that question. And the best example I can give is from my own children. And when I see them grow up and have seen them grow up and seen with other music students that I've taught that are kids using this approach is, bottom line is we've got it all in us anyway, from listening to it, from listening to the radio, from listening to music, singing since we were a child. So I see my kids make up songs and they actually understand scale da, 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 by using it. They can't explain the theory of it, but they know it. And a lot of us understand that more than we give ourselves credit for. And the other thing is that, bottom line in my mind, it doesn't even matter because you can just make something up, make up a sound. The problem that I think we have, and even when starting, is that we can have this expectation of how it should sound or how it should be, rather than just enjoying the process and go and analyze and critique it later. And I've got to say that's helped me a lot in my own creative process over the last 20, 30 years. I used to get writer's block a lot when I wrote songs. And so I would stifle my songwriting. But then I got to a point where when I was in public, I would just do this more creative music making and songwriting on the spot. And now I can make songs up on the fly. I can be sitting in a corner, playing a piano, seeing the audience, seeing people just doing background music in a restaurant, and then I can just start making up a song about the people in the background, and they'll go like, "Hey, that guy's singing about us," Just from having fun with it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But it's still, if we just go back to that role play again. So I'm in here saying, "Okay, Paul, I know nothing about anything. We've got a piano at home. How do I start? Where do I begin? How do I, with no knowledge, how do I begin to understand how to play music?"
Yep. Well, what I would say first, like I've said to friends and people and students, is even when you're just by yourself, walking down the street, play with an idea like I did before when I was just talking my words. have a sentence, have a line, have "I like the sunshine," and just sing it, and you might go, like, even I say that and go, God, that sounds so bloody cheesy. But it's like, so what? And then find something that you like. And do it in your own space and keep it very simple. And getting used to your own self and sound. And I've got to say, it can be very confronting. But I think it's also when you start to do that, you start to feel more liberated, as well. If you do have a little bit of music experience, like you can play, how to play chords or something, and you want to do that, you can just take, I can even show you can just take, like, so I'm playing a C chord and then an F chord.
Just so happened to have a piano in the studio.
Oh yeah, it just turned up out of the blue. It turned up out of the blue, my piano out of the blue. I keep it nice and simple, especially for you. And anyone can do it, I would say that much is true. Oh yeah. For example,
I love the complexity at the end too.
Yeah. And just keeping it simple, playing with it.
Yeah.
If anyone still is saying how I still don't get it conceptually, I would say walk down the street, be by yourself, be in your own space somewhere where others can't hear you, and just play with your own voice.
Good. I think there's also a thing in people's minds that music is incredibly complex, and it can be incredibly complex.
Of course.
But it also can be incredibly simple.
Yes.
And you find that with kids. You find that in a lot of tribes. You listen to some of that tribal music, and it's all rhythm based.
And it's what we call ostinati, which is a repetitive pattern. Hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey. You could even say that down the street. You could just make a la da 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 da. Whatever you feel and feels nice. I think the trick is too, Richard, is do something that potentially could feel good. At first, it's going to be weird, but the more you do it, just keep, like you're saying, taking these simple little ideas and just playing with it for yourself. And I think this is where the whole well-being aspect comes into it for me. They've done a lot of research, say in music therapy and areas like that, and music psychology, where they have found that when people do this type of improvisation with music, that it can over time enhance your well-being and make you feel better. Even they've seen increasing well-being decreases in anxiety and depression as well.
I was lucky enough to work with New South Wales Health for a long time, and music for Alzheimer's and for in those fields, people went from almost comatose, put a pair of headphones on them, and we've got some film that we shot a few years back now, about 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
And the guy wore Alzheimer's and was sitting almost comatose, just in this block, threw the headphones on, and he and his wife, she was there all the time, were up dancing. It was jailhouse rock. So that's the era of the guy.
Yeah. And
they were up dancing. He was laughing, singing, just had earphones on. Each of them had earphones on and dancing. Took them off, straight back down to where he was. So there's a trigger in it, and the power of music is just amazing.
And what you're saying, I've seen that firsthand. Like 25 years ago, I used to play in hospitals and nursing homes, and I worked often with people with dementia, and like nothing until you sing a song that they knew. And I remember this lady who was apparently a very well-known opera singing teacher and performer, and she had dementia, and I started just singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and while she didn't do the words, she sang the note perfectly, and her face just came alive. Yeah, and I think something to clarify here is, that definitely activates another part of the brain. It shows music at work through what we have learned, what we have there, and from our early experience with the music making and creating side, it's causing us to activate our brain in another way, and I think that's where there's also a lot of, I think it's a very practical way of making ourselves feel good. And also if we want to, like you're saying, if we want to create music and become a musician, I believe we can all be musicians in our own right. And yeah, we can do that through just doing these little steps to start with, and finding a coach and things like that too can help, or a teacher.
Eventually, but it still comes down to, I think you nailed it, to that confidence, which I think we'll later on in this series we'll talk about that, getting that confidence. Definitely. And how to manage it, but how to get there initially. And it's, for some people, it's terrifying. Initially, it's terrifying, but once it's done, it's addictive. Once you've done it and you go, oh, people don't dislike this. They're not judging me the way I judge me. They're just seeing some woman or man or kid singing and going, well, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And they don't see what you see in yourself, do they? But we want to talk more about that, because it's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's a whole other can of worms and kettle of fish, but it is fascinating, that whole thing too, because as we've discussed before, that's where one of my real passions lies, is working with people who want to feel more confident in performing, and I've had that opportunity to do that with a lot of people too, which is just amazing, and to see them go from never would I sing in front of someone or play in front of someone to be able to do it, which is incredible.
One of the most exciting times in my life, because I'm a bit older, I saw the advent of hip hop and watched a lot of young performers in their early stages trying to work out what they were supposed to do. A lot of them weren't musical. They had great rhythm, but they weren't very musical. And to watch people come up with a rhythm, come in their own mind, and then being able to add words that made sense and they could do their story is that thing too. Because a lot of those guys just weren't musical, but my God, they became musicians pretty quickly.
And that's so interesting, the whole thing, because when we look at where hip hop came from too, and it came off the streets where kids were playing these rhythmic games, in the streets in America, and that's where it all kind of developed from using rhythm. And that's something I was going to mention before too, when we're talking about, how do you go about making a song? Even having a rhythm, I know it's not a good thing, and I don't tell people this too much, but ever since I was really young, I used to just do this, and I notice I still do it at times, this teeth clenching thing where I tap rhythms that I have with my teeth. And I don't recommend that. But, even just having a ba, 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 I was watching this movie Tap with Gregory Hines, and because I love tap dancing. I think I started doing it a couple of years ago, and I love that you can just make up rhythms with it too. But, he would just come up with these rhythms, and this is something that anyone can do. Just practice making a rhythm up on the street. Don't, if it's singing, you don't want to do it, just go da, ba, da, da, da. Because what we'd find, if we watch ourselves, we probably do this kind of stuff even without being aware of it. They're actually making it up, or we've got these little random melodies going on in their head, or ideas. And we think, oh, no, it's a song. We go, no, hang on, that's not a song. I'm making that up.
That's it.
And I think that's really important here to mention, is that we don't realise just actually how unconsciously creative we are being in a given moment of the day when we've got time to ourselves, perhaps.
If you have a listen to some of the interviews in the early days of the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards talking about Satisfaction, and he kept going back to the rest of the band saying, do you know this? And he's playing the riff. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Surely everyone knows this. And everyone says, no one does. So he went out further and further, and no one did. But it was so familiar to him, and that's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Look, and this is a really good point, because I went through this when I was younger. I used to make something, and go, surely that's existed, surely that's there. And that's what I want to say to anyone making things up, making up music making, all right, is that you might make something and you might be convinced, what you're saying, Richard, is or that it's something. And you know what? So what if it is a little bit based on something else? But what you'll probably find, if you did get the confidence eventually to share it with someone else, that they might go, no, I've never heard that. Or some will. Some might say, it sounds like something. That's okay. I used to get taken back by that, but over time I got used to that. It's okay if it sounds like something else.
You're listening to Making Music. coming up, we'll show you how to write a song. But firstly, here's a song from my album, Come Outside. This is the title track from that album. It's Come Outside.
You may think this is your place. You may believe the assertion's true. You may stand high in the courtroom. You may think it's owed to you. But come outside. Peer around the light. Everything you think is yours is someone else's, just waiting for you to fly. You may push and walk on water. You may think you'll live forever. You may judge the judge and jury. You may think you're mighty clever, but come outside. Peer around the light. Everything you think is yours is someone else's, just waiting for you to fly. Fly, for you to fly, so come outside.
That song is one of Richard's, Come Outside, from his album of the same name, Come Outside. Okay, now let's continue talking about writing a song.
So let's get an example of how to build a song. Now you're a pianist, and you know the keys, you know the chords, you know all that sort of instinctively. This is something you do all the time. Mm-hmm. This is like, I guess I keep using these things, but if a cricketer, a batsman can see the ball coming, and it's instinctive. It's not something you go, oh, now I need to hit the ball. It's just you go in place, hit ball. That's where you are with the piano. So it's what comes out of your fingers is a direct connection to your musicality. What's happening in your mind. Is it a fair description?
Yeah, I guess so. That there are definitely times though where I have to remember to just keep it simple too, and just pull it back. And I find when I just consciously do that and stick to that, or stick to a groove, or like those two chords before, and just stick to that, that's when I find that it can sometimes flow a lot easier. I think sometimes and this is an important point for making music, is we get so cerebral. The front part of the top of our head, above our forehead, is our prefrontal cortex, and this is where we do all the cognition and information processing that we are conscious of. And look, it can be fantastic, but then sometimes we just have to know when to say, come on. And that's what I have to do too. And that's why making up, like just playing around with a note or two or a rhythm without thinking too much. And then you can think about it. You can then go, okay, what words am I going to say? I'm having fun, for example. Okay, it's crap. Or my cognition goes, oh, this is bad, this is bad. No, it's okay, I'll play with it. Let's see what happens. Go back.
It's an interesting. That's an interesting thing too, because there's two parts. There's one. I write a song every day, and it's one of those things. And most songwriters do that. I know to a certain
Oh,
extent.
you inspire me. I have not been that prolific for a long time, and you've inspired me, Richard.
I just do it because it's my morning. I have my coffee, I have a piece of toast, and I write a song, and that's how I start my day.
Awesome.
So it's one of those but they're not, they're not beaters, but it doesn't matter to me because I just do it. I do it. That's kind of part of my daily routine. A really good friend of mine who's an excellent pianist who plays music and will play Liszt, so really skilled, cannot for the life of him play anything off. If you take the music away, he doesn't know where to start. Ask him to form, say, a C chord. Mm-hmm. What's a C chord?
Well, it might be up to form the C chord, but whether he can apply the C chord.
Apply the chord, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's a better way of putting it.
Yeah, and look, this stuff is awesome, and for anyone listening to this, really, there's a lot of classical musicians who are incredible, and not just people learning from the book, learning to read. They can play a piece of music beautifully and incredibly technically. There's only a handful, I would say, dare I say, from that cohort that are comfortable improvising. And I've actually helped classical musicians who want to do more improvisation or create, just come back to the basics, come back to, hey, this is how you can play the chord, keep it simple, do a basic rhythm for, say, creating more contemporary musical songwriting.
Yeah. That is interesting. I learned music at school, but hated it. I hated the theory because I had to do exactly what I was told. Here's the beat. Here's the even to the amount of pressure you put on the key. Oh, yeah. All of that. And I thought, this is, for me, it's killing me. It's killing me.
Oh yeah, I had that too. I did classical violin, and I'd even have my violin teacher grab me and stop me from swaying from side to side and say, "Where are you on the page?" Because you knew I just knew it automatically, and by memory. And I don't know.
Let's do a demo. Let's tell me firstly where you're going to start. So this is just, let's do a 30-second piece. And hey, look, I'm going to throw something else in here too.
Yeah, go for it. Give it.
This is a jingle. This is a radio jingle. Okay, so you've got 30 seconds to start a piece and finish the piece, and it has to have something that's I'm going to recognise, but it's not stolen from somewhere else.
Hang on. So when you say jingle, what do you?
Just a piece of music, a 30-second piece of music that feels familiar, that's not overly complex. Oh. But and let's say the jingle says it's for, let's say, a push bike company, and it's outdoor push bikes.
So we want it to be familiar. See, and this is really interesting because now I'm taking all these things and putting it in, and and just with that too, I will, just for those listening, I'm going to play with this and have fun and just try to keep it simple too. But yeah, let me think.
I'll give you a bit more image too.
Yes,
so
please do.
the image behind this piece of music is a young guy and a young girl on a bike. It's summer.
Oh yeah.
They're riding along the side of a river.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, as they're ploughing along, they see in front of them the most majestic mountain they've ever seen, and it's snow-capped right at the very top,
gosh.
and they both look up.
This is getting epic. Wow.
So we got that. We go for the first bit again and see if you can segue into the next bit.
Okay, actually, what I'll do is I might just use the normal piano sound.
All right.
So, okay. Oh, so that's very... Hang on, and hang on, this is a jingle, is it?
It's a jingle, so you've only got 30 seconds. So riding along, mountain, looking up at the mountain, that's beautiful, look at one another, you know there's love in the air. But you know why there's love in the air? It's because of the bikes they're on. Oh, that's
wow.
it.
I'm really challenged here. It's good. I love the challenge, yeah. Okay. Let's see, just my disclaimer, it might not be great, but it doesn't matter. Here we go. All right. But I've got to put familiar into it as well.
That was familiar to begin with. So
was it? Yes. Yeah. Okay, if we're talking familiar like that, I can go with that. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, so wherever you are, wherever you want to be. You can ride along with me. Is there a brand of the bike or anything?
No, we're just calling it bike.
I'll ride my bike with you. I'll ride wherever we go. Oh, we are together. Something like that. I don't know.
I'm sold. So the image is there. You've got that's so and just for the listener's point of view, I threw that on you without any notice at all.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But that's usually what you get if somebody asks you to create something.
Yeah, and I just want to say people can listen to that and go, I mean, I personally don't think much of it, but people can listen and go, how do you do that? But it's like everyone does have that stuff in them, right? And because we're a product we're a product of what we listen to. And we're as human beings, I think we're absolutely not regurgitators.
Oh, of course. There's nothing original. There's nothing. You said something.
I think it is original.
Well, you said
sense.
something. In a sense, of course. You said something to me the other day. I think it was you were telling me something about whatever you think, whatever you heard, whatever you believe. It's been done by somebody. There are 8 billion of us on the planet. Somebody's probably done it in the past or is doing it right now.
Yeah, and we just bring it up in a different way, and it's still something unique. And I think that's something we can say. Everything's been done before, but we can all still put our stamp on it, our own signature on it, even though it has been done before. And I think that's important with this whole creative process, with the whole self-criticism aspect, which is something we were talking about getting into next time.
Yeah,
that critical thing, and just especially when you're starting out with this stuff, just play with it and have fun and enjoy it and see what you come up with. And hey, if you go, oh, heck, I like that, grab your iPhone, your phone, record it for 10. I do that often with ideas, ones I want to keep. So I recommend anyone out there, you can be walking down the street, make up a sound, song, a rhythm, record it. Learn to listen to yourself, learn to be okay with hearing yourself. That's another thing I'd say too, yeah.
All right, to finish this up, I just want to hear something that either you've played with in the past or you want to do right now. Just
like off the cuff?
If you feel like doing something off the cuff, just give us 60 seconds of something wonderful.
Sure. And what I'll do is I'll try to keep it very, very, very simple, just a couple of notes, a couple of chords, just to... Little bit at a time. It's all it takes, coming from my mind in your mind. Let it be free. It come out anyway, it's gotta come out of you, and it can if you let it. Let it be. I'm ripping off that line there. Let it be free. Oh.
Paul McCartney, welcome to the show. Hey, next time round, the idea of these podcasts, we're going to keep them about 30 minutes because that's long enough.
Yeah.
You can always play them back to back if you want. But next time we are going to dig in a little bit more of this, more actual music and how it's done, and we'll probably lift it to the next level a bit. But more so, we're going to talk about getting past self-criticism, which is a killer. It just murders people. And I know from my background
me too.
In performance, I know definitely with you, but
it murdered me too.
Oh, well, I did to a certain extent, and everyone's got it. There's a thing, there's a word I discovered. I love the Plovers.
That's beautiful.
The word I discovered, eustress. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's a positive stress. It's a thing you need sometimes to actually give it that extra edge, whatever you're doing. And I don't care if you're a builder or if you're cleaning plates or you're building, monuments. There has to be a level of, and it's professionalism, but there has to be a level of, wow, I'm doing something here. It's got to be done right.
Yeah, something to put, that's right. And that pushes and motivates. Yeah, that's right. They've done a lot of studies on that too. It's like, and
it's important. And I think that self-criticism and how to manage that is a real art. And you've got some answers for us, which we'll be doing we'll be talking about in the next episode of brand new Making Music podcast. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Could I just say one very last quick thing, Richard? And with that, just knowing that our next one is going to be about the self-criticism, I would really encourage people who are listening to this who are inspired, at least to some degree here, just in the over time in the next few days, a week or whatever, just to play with these ideas, and just to experiment and just to be aware too, even mindful of the kind of thoughts and the criticisms that you might have towards yourself. And if you can just kind of let them just go, okay, blah, 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 and listen and not criticize, but just go, yeah, because it's okay. It's okay to be in this space of creating.
And one more thing too, if I can just add one thing too, rhythm is such an important part of music. And
Absolutely.
it can, even if you're just tapping away at something, just tap away at it. And that's the beginning.
And even listen to your feet as you scuff along the ground, We make rhythms with our feet. I've noticed. Just listen to the rhythm in a washing machine. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, that's what I...
How many great classical pieces have been made by the noise of a cart being pulled along and the chukka of a train?
Exactly.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
that's to come in the next episode. Paul Longley, thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
We'll get into episode 2 next time. A bit of a play out if you wouldn't mind.
Certainly. Oh, yeah. This song you're about to hear is a song I wrote for my lovely daughter more than 10 years ago. It's called Beautiful Girl. Sweetest thing I've seen in front of me broke into my world. You stare into my eyes and feels like life will never die. My beautiful girl, my beautiful girl, my beautiful girl, my beautiful girl.